is the same thing as average. Okay? So when they give you a set of data, they're asking you to find the mean of the data, you're finding the average. So the average is always, no matter what you're doing, the average is adding all your numbers up and dividing it by how many data you have to look at, okay, or how many numbers you have. Okay? So add all the values, divide by how many numbers you have. The median, what does the median describe? The middle term. Okay? So when I'm looking at the median, I have to make sure that all my data points are put in order from lowest to greatest. Okay? And if it happens that my middle number falls in between two numbers, so let's say these are in order, right? And then my middle number falls in between because I have even number of terms, right? Then I have to find the average between the two terms, between the two numbers. Okay, so I have to add the two numbers and divide by 2. We'll look at that in the next example. The mode is the most frequently reoccurring value. Okay, so if you have like 40, 40, 40 3 times, right, and then this is the most number that's appearing like multiple times, then this is your mode. You can have multiple modes. Okay, you can have 2, 3, 4 modes, whatever. 1. The range is the difference between the highest and the lowest point in your data. Okay, so you subtract the highest minus your lowest. So let's look at this set of data. So Jason received each of the following marks on each of his 8-unit tests. Okay, obviously they're asking you to find the mean, median, mode, and range. Okay, if you're gonna start with your mean, you're gonna have to do what?
Put them all in order.
So we have to put them in order for the median though. Okay, so you want to put them in order? Let's start with that. Okay, so what do I have? 43,
65,
65,
68,
68.
72.
Yeah. 85.
91.
Make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you have the correct number of data. Okay, to find the mean, add them all up and divide by 8. And then when you add them all up, make sure that on the calculator, make sure that once you add them all up, you actually hit the equal sign. Okay? Or put these in bracket. Okay? Either you hit the equal sign after the last number and then divide by 8, or put brackets. What would be your answer? Because 7225. That makes sense, right? Your answer should make sense. If you ended up with 300 something, there's something not right. Okay. Median. Okay. So if you look at this, right, I have 8 sets of data, right? So because I have 8, and that's an even number, I have 4 that are below the median and 4 that are above the median, okay? So my median is gonna fall somewhere here, all right? And to find that median, I have to add both of the middle terms. I have 2 middle terms technically. You have to add both the middle terms and then divide by 2. It's like, when you have 4 children, which one is your middle child? Right?
The two in the middle.
The 2 in the middle, right? So you have to add them up and average them. Okay, so same thing when you have an even number of items. Okay, so to find my median, I have to add 72 plus 76 and divide them by 2. 74. What's the mode? There is none. No. What would be your range? Sub 91. Take away 4. So that will be
48.
X. These are the fun data stuff. Anything else that comes, that's data management is not fun.
Is that why that's up there? Not can be fun.
That can be fun. Except if it's data management. Start working on the next one. Yeah. Probably.
So if it didn't specify with the question which we
No.
have to find, we have to find all, right?
Yeah.
Please specify.
Find all. Well, at least this is not finding standard deviation and all the other fun stuff. All right. So the number of liters of gasoline purchased by customers in 1 hour at a gas station is the following. Find obviously mean, median, mode, and range. So let's put them in order. Where do we start? I can't see too close, so you guys have to help me. Yeah, 16, 21,
21.
21. How many? All right. So the mean is, add them all up, and as I said, don't forget to put a plus, put an equal after the last one, so you know what the sum is before you divide by 9. 27.77? Because it's 77777? Okay, so it's 78, yep. All right, now, I have odd number of terms or of data, right? So what would be my median?
It's 25. 21? The middle.
Yes, so I have 4 and 4, so this would be my median, right? My middle number. So in this case, you have 9 children, you do have a middle child. So that would be 25. There's 2 sets of twins there too. Imagine you have 9 children, that's their ages.
No way.
Yeah.
How old's the mom?
How old is the mom now? Maybe about 70. Well, could be anywhere between, you know.
16 years past 44.
Yeah, plus 44. Exactly. All right. So what would be your mode? So there's two modes, right? And the range,
44 minus 60.
which is
28.
easy stuff, right? That's it. Okay. So the next lesson is all about trigonometry, right? Let's flip it. Yeah. Okay. So why don't we get this out of the way? Because I think I would like to start the grade 12 stuff on Monday. The other stuff in the booklet, which is linear and quadratic, I'm not going to even bother with them because we don't cover a lot of quadratic and linear in grade 12. So once I need it, I'll cover it, okay? But we start with trigonometry, that's our first unit. So I would like to just quickly go over this, which I know you probably know what it is, but let's cover it, refresh your memory. Go, forget everything over the weekend, and come back and start again on Monday. Do not forget anything over the weekend. All right. Trigonometry is everyone's favorite until they get to grade 12.
Don't say that.
Honestly. Especially when you go, like, to do, like, the U-level math. When you get to, like, trig identities and whatever it is, people start, like, just freaking about it. But with grade 12C, we do obtuse angles, so it gets a little bit trickier, but we'll be fine. The first part of it, at least. All right. So these are some just reminder of different things. Angles, interior angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Please don't forget that, because if you know 2, you can find the third, right? We always label the angles with capital letter and the sides with small letters, right? Corresponding small letters. In right triangles, the hypotenuse is the longest side and it's opposite to the right angle. Something that you guys need to always remember is no matter what kind of triangle it is, right? No matter what kind of triangle it is, so I'm going to draw a right angle triangle here. Always, the biggest angle is going to have the opposite biggest side, right? So, in a right angle triangle, if this is 90, then for sure this is the biggest angle. Right? Because you only have 90 left for the other two, right? Because 90 and 90 give you 180. So if this is 90, that's the biggest angle. So you must have the biggest side across from it. So that's why the hypotenuse is the biggest side in the right angle triangle. And it's opposite from the 90. In right angle triangle, you use Pythagorean theorem. How many of you remember that? A squared plus B squared equals C squared, right? Where C is your hypotenuse, okay? And then you must, so basically what this is saying is that the square of this side plus the square of this side, that does not look like a square at all, is equal to the square of this side, okay? And then there is different versions of it. So if you are looking for A, your formula would be A squared equal to C squared minus B squared, right? Because you're going to bring the B squared over. And then if you're looking for B squared, it's going to be C squared minus A squared, okay? So the A and B are your legs or the sides, and then the C is your hypotenuse. The other three formulas that you can use with right triangles only are the SOHCAHTOA, right? The trig ratios, which is sine is
Opposite over height.
sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine theta is, and then tan theta is opposite over adjacent. Okay? So, remember, in a right angle triangle, you always have your hypotenuse, that's, you can label that first. And depending on your angle of focus, you can name the other two, or your angle of interest, whatever you want to call it, right? So, if this is my angle of interest here, I'm gonna name this triangle 1 second. Okay, this is angle theta. This is my angle of interest. Where's my opposite?
It's AC.
AC. And this is called the adjacent. Okay? If your angle of interest is A, right? Then where would be your opposite? The BC. And then what would be your adjacent? AC. Okay? So naming your triangle is important. Knowing how to name your triangle is important because then you know which trig ratio to use. Okay? Now, remember that if you're looking for the angle, if you know both of the sides and you're looking for the angle, there is a mistake there. Where is the mistake here?
Oh, you have the same sheet. First one. The first option.
What should it say?
The opposite way.
Thank you. Okay, so if I'm looking for an angle, I have to do the inverse operation, right? Which is sine inverse, cos inverse, tan inverse, and that's what I'm looking for, the angle. All right? All right, so first question is asking you to find the measure of the unknown side, or so for the first one, what do I do? Pythagorean here, right? I have a right angle triangle, and I feel like I'm losing my voice. I have a right angle triangle. I know the two legs. I'm looking for the hypotenuse. Okay, so tell me, what do I have?
So Z squared,
Z squared equal.
250 squared plus 60 squared.
So in this square, in this situation, I'm gonna have to use my original formula, right? Because I'm looking for the hypotenuse. Okay,
3,600.
3,600.
For 60.
60
Oh.
500.
Can you give me the full answer for 250 squared?
It's
Plus.
can you say the number?
Okay.
6500.
62,500?
Yeah,
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
3600.
Plus 3,600? Okay,
66100.
okay. And then
Square root.
Square root.
I have to square it because I'm looking for just that. And that gives me 257?
But it's
Point two.
yeah. It's either point one or just
Yeah,
because it's
point
0.09.
So it's gonna be 0.1, okay? Usually, unless otherwise specified, sides, you wanna find them to one decimal place. And angles, you wanna find them to the nearest angle, to the nearest degree, no decimal, okay? Unless otherwise specified by the question. Are we okay with this? Any questions? All right, let's get this question out of the way and let's call it a weekend. All right, so I'm looking for angle theta. So first of all, I have to name my triangle. I have to label my sides, okay? So this is my angle of interest. What? Which was the opposite? 8. And then the hypotenuse. Perfect. Since that's sine. Sine. Okay. So I have to use sine because I know the opposite and the hypotenuse. Okay? So, sine theta equals to,
8 over 14.
I'm just gonna write the formula first because I like to show my work. And then now, reverse operation, which is sine inverse. Okay, make sure that when you do the sine inverse, please guys, put this in bracket. Okay, put the 8 over 14 in bracket. So anytime you're looking for an angle, right, you want to do the inverse operation because technically like you're isolating for that theta, and then the inverse operation of sine is sine inverse. Okay, so on the calculator you should have the shift button or second button and sine. Okay, so it's like a square, the opposite operation is square. Yeah. So do 8 over 14 equals, okay, and second. Okay, angle to the nearest degree, so that's going to be 35. Now, something also very important, make sure that your calculator is in degree mode and not in any other modes, okay? Because sometimes by mistake we press on a button and it changes, right? So calculator should say D on the top or nothing or DEG, okay? If it says anything else like R or God knows what else, then it's not degree. All right, are we good? Okay, Monday is the new chapter. It is the start of the grade 12. As I said, we're going to start with trigonometry. Okay, so we're going to start with